Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Rudy McLennan coming to you from Glasgow, Scotland. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. In the commencement of his Lenten message for 2024, Pope Francis emphasised that when God reveals himself, the core of his message consistently revolves around freedom. Drawing parallels to the exodus of the Hebrew people from Egypt, the Holy Father characterised the journey through the desert as a season of grace, urging believers to engage actively with the world's realities and heed the cries of the oppressed. The Pope said Lent emerges as a transformative period, a time for concrete actions and reflection, and urged individuals to pause for prayer and to stand in solidarity with the suffering. Meanwhile, renowned urban artist Mauro Pallotta has been chosen by the Vatican to craft the official image for this year's Lent. Listed among the 30 most influential street artists globally, he has been entrusted with the task of visually representing Pope Francis's Lenten message. A series of attacks took place in several villages around Beni in the Democratic Republic of the Congo on Tuesday. Armed men, believed to be affiliated with the Allied Democratic Forces, a group associated with the Islamic State, targeted civilians and executed them using bladed weapons. Among the victims were 5 individuals in a church belonging to a Pentecostal community. The attackers also took approximately 30 people hostage, with reports of additional individuals missing. The Apostolic Nuncio to India, Archbishop Leopoldo Girelli, has addressed the Catholic bishops of India, emphasising the Church's key role in advocating for the rights of the poor and defending religious freedom. Speaking at the 36th Biennial Assembly of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of India in Bangalore, Archbishop Girelli stressed the Church's ability to shape the moral fabric of society and called for solidarity, particularly towards the impoverished. He also urged every eligible Christian to participate in the upcoming general elections and vote for candidates who will uphold religious freedom, respect human dignity, and promote the democratic process. The Office of Communications of the Panamanian Episcopal Conference announced on Thursday that Cardinal Jose Luis Lacunza, who was missing since January 30th, has been found safe and sound. In a video posted by the National Police of Panama on social media, a police officer was shown speaking with the 79-year-old Bishop of the Diocese of David, who is seated in a car. He was located in the province of Chiriquí. Police did not give a reason for his disappearance. Soon after he was located, the Catholic Church in Panama released a statement saying that they were thankful for prayers and expressions of solidarity. 3 abortion-related bills were rejected by the Republican-led New Hampshire House on Thursday. They declined to further restrict access to abortion. Current state law prohibits abortion after 24 weeks unless there is a fatal fetal anomaly or when the mother's health or life is said to be in danger. The House also voted 193 to 184 in favour of asking voters to incorporate abortion rights in the state constitution. However, the proposal did not get the necessary majority of votes. Second and third bills in favour of requiring abortion after 15 weeks and after 15 days of conception, respectively, were rejected by the House. Abortion has been a contested ballot issue in several states since the US Supreme Court overturned the supposed constitutional right to abortion in 2022. Parliament Commissioner for Human Rights in Ukraine, Dmytro Lubinets, has stated that Russian soldiers and occupation officials have committed at least 76 acts of religious persecution, including the murders of 29 clerics in Ukraine since the invasion in 2022. Speaking at the International Religious Freedom Summit in Washington, D.C., he added that evangelical Christians are being targeted and tortured. Since February that year, Russia is said to have vandalized more than 600 religious buildings, including those of Protestant, Jewish, Catholic, and Muslim communities. Israel has announced its intention to extend its military operations further south in Gaza following its claim of dismantling Hamas in Khan Yunis. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant stated that success in Khan Yunis allows Israeli forces to advance towards Rafah, located at the southern border of the enclave. Gallant emphasised the mission to eliminate perceived threats from terror elements. Simultaneously, diplomatic efforts for a ceasefire have accelerated, with Qatari and Egyptian mediators presenting a proposal to Hamas. The proposed plan suggests a first phase of a 40-day ceasefire during which fighting would stop and Hamas would release the remaining civilians among hostages taken in October. Subsequent phases would involve the handover of Israeli soldiers and the bodies of deceased hostages. The Christ the King Major Seminary in the Kafanchan Diocese is implementing a solar-powered security system to safeguard residents from the growing violence against Catholics in Nigeria. Aid to the Church in Need is financing the system, which will provide security awareness and round-the-clock surveillance. Islamic extremists and criminal gangs have attacked churches and seminaries in the country, resulting in kidnappings and in deaths. Floodlights and solar-powered bulbs will be used to detect potential risks under the new security system. A grant of $64,000 was given to the St Albert Institute and Christ the King Seminary, with additional funding coming from the Kafanchan Diocese. In Pakistan's Sialkot district, an Islamist preacher forced 2 Christians to commit to Islam using threats and violence. The victims were kidnapped, assaulted, and made to recite the Islamic Creed. The incident happened on January 22nd in the Kotli Loharan region. The attackers accused the brothers of supposed wrongdoings and threatened to murder them if they did not convert. The assailants recorded a video of the brothers in which they were forced to state that they were converting willingly. The victims' Christian family initially chose to remain silent, but following persuasion, they filed a police complaint. The police have detained a Muslim cleric and have registered charges for kidnapping. It is said that the suspects have criminal backgrounds and are frequently targeting Christians. The Bishop of Salt Lake City, Oscar Solis, has released a statement requesting politicians safeguard the Catholic Church's confessional seal. The prelate's statement comes against the backdrop of a proposed legislation from the Utah legislature that would require members of the clergy, including Catholic priests, to report persistent abuse or neglect, even if the information is gained during confession. The bishop also stated that a priest in the confessional acts as a living conduit to God, and not as a therapist or a professional. He also added that while the Catholic Church is committed to protecting children and vulnerable people from abuse, requiring priests to break the seal of confession is a violation of their religious freedom and may not be successful in preventing abuse. According to a new report released by the Committee for Freedom in Hong Kong Foundation on January 30th, Hong Kong's religious freedom is vanishing due to coercion from the Chinese Communist Party. The report emphasises that the Beijing-imposed national security law is being used to put religious liberty in danger and might lead to the collapse of religious freedom in Hong Kong. It says that through various initiatives and efforts to influence religious groups, the party is actively taking control of Hong Kong's religious institutions. 47 Days with Jesus, a film depicting Jesus' final days on earth, is set to premiere in 800 theatres across the United States from March the 11th to the 14th. The movie, which tells a touching Easter story centred around the Burden family, is directed by Emilio Palami and David Guttel, who also wrote the screenplay. This film portrays a modern-day family facing challenges around health, work priorities and disconnection. The film serves as a gentle reminder to pause and reassess what truly matters. The leading cast include Yoshi Barrigas and Catherine Lidstone, who play the Burden couple, while the film brings to life biblical characters like Pontius Pilate, St. Peter and Judas Iscariot. And those are the latest headlines. Do join us again next time for more, and in the meantime do remember you can always visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.